Hey guys, it's Mike here, and thank you for joining me on a different kind of Backstage video. Episode 10 of the series, the press conference, was released just the other day, in which the band X-RL7 are fielding various questions from the press.
Of all the slanderous!
As I didn't have a particular Backstage video in mind for that episode, I thought why not reflect that in real life and answer your questions about the series. So thank you everyone who submitted questions, and let's get into it right now in this episode of X-RL7.
Backstage!
So first question, what software do you use to animate and create the series? And that question was asked by
everyone!
I get that question a lot, and I'm just playing. I actually quite like answering it. The answer is I use Toon Boom Harmony Essentials, which is the most basic version of Toon Boom. I use that for all my animation needs. I think it's fantastic, and I can do pretty much anything I want with it. However, it's not so great for drawing pixel art. The drawing tools on the basic version don't really lend itself to that, so I do all my pixel art assets, backgrounds, characters, body parts, in another program called Hexels. Once I've finished animating and exported the scenes, I put those into Adobe Premiere, where I put everything together, add sound effects and other various touches to make the finished product. How many episodes will it have? Also, your videos are awesome. Thank you, Melody or Melody7615. Well, I see this series as ongoing, so I'd love to just keep on going and going, making many episodes into the future, and your guys' support really helps. If you were going on tour playing all of the songs from X-RL7's discography, who would you like to be on tour with and why? And that's from Raz from the Patreon. Thank you, Raz, for that question. The phrasing of that, playing all of the songs from the X-RL7 discography, makes me think how the material of the project is quite wide in range of style. So it makes me think of other bands which have quite an eclectic sound as well. And the first band that kind of pops into my mind is Smashing Pumpkins. I absolutely adore the Smashing Pumpkins. You know, thinking about it, there's loads of bands. Deftones, I don't know, who else? How in the world was Omega kissing Kim with the helmet on? Also, how weird awkward was it to record the sounds for it? Thank you, Elodia, from the Patreon. I'm pretty confident that wasn't intended to be read as aggressively as I read it, but there you go. Thank you. I actually have quite a clear idea of how I think Omega and Kim are kissing in that scene, but I shall leave it to the viewer's imagination. Yeah, honestly, I was quite nervous about sending that script to Lauren Babick, who plays Kim Claus, because I have a lot of respect for Lauren. I think she's absolutely amazing and a really lovely person. So particularly as it's her first time doing voice acting as well, I didn't want to embarrass her or make anything awkward. So I was quite self-conscious about sending that, but I felt that's what I needed for the scene. That was the gag, and that kind of made sense for the story. So in the end, I, gathered up the courage and just sent it. And fortunately, she was a really great sport and did a fantastic job committing to every aspect of Kim for the episode. And yeah, I'm really happy and relieved with how it turned out. As for myself doing the sounds, there's no problem. The thing about recording Omega's voice is no matter how expressive my sounds might be, going through a vocoder, it's always just going to end up as What's up, Mike? Just wanted to hear your thoughts on balancing time in life with creative projects and having a day job. Also, you're getting such incredibly talented guests on the show. What's been your process for that? That's from Johnny Ohama from the Patreon. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, it's an interesting balancing act, making time for your creative stuff in the midst of life and day job and relationships and family and all these sorts of things. I'm sure my wife would have some things to say about my management levels of that, but yeah, it's a hard thing to balance and requires some careful judgment. I would say that certainly when you do have time which you could be spending on your creative projects, it does require a degree of mental discipline to actually do it, because it's amazing. The human tendency is to procrastinate, put stuff off, watch Netflix, watch various series, whatever it may be. And I find that is kind of the enemy of productivity. So when I catch myself feeling the urge of just being like, no, I'll just chill out, do this, I kind of force myself to be productive and say, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing first, and then I'm going to kind of reward myself when I have a break of watching, whatever I want to watch. And I'll kind of monitor myself very carefully and cap how it is. Sometimes you just, you have to spend time with your family members or whatever it may be, and you've got to turn that cap off. But certainly when, there's an opportunity where you could be doing that sort of thing, it's a bit of a mental dance, I've found. And the hardest part is often starting.
Come on, guys, let's go.
In regards to getting the guests, at the start in particular, it was basically a lot of my friends being involved. So I just threw them a message on social media. Hey, you want to be involved in this crazy project I've got on the go? And for people that I didn't know, I basically found their email and reached out to them, and it all just kind of worked out. And fortunately, I had a trailer of how the series was looking and kind of led with that. And fortunately, a lot of amazing people saw the potential of it and agreed to be involved, and it's been absolutely amazing.
Well, I have connections.
I found typically if I can reach the artist directly, it will work out. But if I get to a manager, it's only ever worked out once, and that's been with Craig Owens, who's making an appearance in episode 12, a nice little cameo, which is really cool. So yeah, seems like the future is purple. Why did you pick that color as a theme for our future world? Does it have a special meaning? And that's from Eve of the band Avia, who's a good friend of mine, and I've done a few featured vocals on a couple of their tracks. And yeah, Eve's an awesome guy, so do check them out. The purple thing, yeah, when I started the series initially, I was really trying not to second guess myself. I was really trying to just, whether it was artwork or music or whatever it was, I was just trying to get in front of the graphics tablet or whatever it may be and just create and try and get out of my own way and just allow what my subconscious was giving me just to sort of come out. It was very much the vibe of trusting myself and just seeing what comes out. And the first scene I did for the series when I was picking it up as an animated show was the dream sequence of Omega. And somehow purple just felt right to me. It must have some, connotations of being quite mystical and otherworldly. And I don't know exactly where it came from, but it just felt right. So I went along with it. And after I'd completed the scene, as Omega is so driven by these visions and it's his main motivating factor, somehow that just felt really good for the theme of the series. And that's really where the purple came from. What's your favorite episode? Thank you, Cameron Salisbury 87, aka Candle Pit on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I love so many episodes of the series. I think there's so many awesome things going on, and I'm connected to a lot of them. But I'm not going to cop out on the answer. My favorite episode is probably episode 7, Divine Intervention, with Daniel Graves as Debbie Divine. So yeah, episode 7. How difficult is it to sync up the voice recordings with the mouth animations? That's from Roggers, the voice actor who plays Alfie. It's a slow process. I have to go frame by frame and really carefully listen to all the mouth sounds and get the correct mouth shape. Here's an example of me doing it.
Someone's feisty tonight.
It can take a bit of time, but that's just the nature of animation. Divine Intervention, episode 7, is one of my favorite episodes. The songs are great, but the studio featured in it is so awesomely designed and drawn. Have you based that interior on some millionaire studios you've seen, or studio geeks? Some people do spend more time on their studio than the actual music or the correct monitor setup. Another one from Eve. Yeah, I mean, the studio design, it kind of was based on those expensive, big budget studios that you see. A lot of compressors, and it's kind of part of that thing as well, where the more hardware you have, the more gear. It's like in Star Trek, the more flashing lights, the more impressive it looks. And you're absolutely right. There are some people that spend a lot more time on their gear than their actual music. In fact, I recall some years ago, I was invited to someone's house to have a jam and play around with some music, and they had all this amazing expensive gear everywhere, like amplifiers, like guitar effects, all sorts of really cool stuff. But his musical output was, It could, have been better. Yeah, some people do, think gear is the answer. Sometimes it helps for sure, but yeah, I know what you mean. How many times does it take to do an episode? And that's from Wicked Gay LMAO. Thanks for the question. The answer is, how many times does it take? It takes one time. How long does each episode take? It takes, it's kind of hard to tell because I'm working on several at once normally, and every episode has a different kind of set of circumstances. It really depends. There's music, writing the songs, getting that mixed and mastered. The whole animation process takes quite a while. It's kind of a case by case, but generally speaking, I want to say 6 weeks, but we'll find out in the new year. What are Omega's, PJ's and Alfie's favourite drinks? We know what the Duke loves, but I wondered what our main characters love as their favourite beverages. That's from Raz. Thank you again, Raz. Omega, water. PJ, fruit drinks and apple cider. Alfie, Venti half and half, 10 pumps vanilla with extra whip. Thank you for watching. I hope that shed some light on the series. Shout out to our Patreons, Elodia, Raz, Johnny, Famka, Jabal, and Kenneth. If you guys want to join the Patreon, there's all sorts of awesome rewards there, exclusive music, early access, all sorts of stuff. And we've recently opened a X-RL7 Discord server. So do feel free to come in and chat to us and various cast members about the series or anything you'd like at all. Again, thank you so much for the support. It really does mean a lot. And speak to you guys soon. Take care.